welcome to Blackfeather Guild. Before we go in and say hi to the cast and get started with the show, I wanted to talk very briefly about viewer actions and a little bit about sponsors. So first off, there's a number of ways that you can actually actively participate in the show through viewer actions. One of the easiest ways to do so is through retweeting the game tweet. You should see that somewhere in chat if it's not in there already. But you just click on that link and hit retweet, and for every 5 retweets that we get on that, it will add a bonus to the cast pool and the game master pool. Now, in most cases, that's going to be an extra d6 that they can add on to any roll. Basically, a great way to use that is if a player is almost meeting a DC, but they're just not quite there, they can grab one of those d6s from the cast pool, roll that, and then add that to their roll. Basically, is how that works. Same with the GM. So that's one of the easiest ways that you can participate that way. Another way is through guild coins. That's our Twitch channel points. If you look at the rainbow colored icon, it should have the Blackfeather Guild crest on it. It should be right below your Twitch chat box. If you click on that, it'll show you all the different things that you can get with those. The biggest one being plot points. Now, plot points, you can see an example right over here. They all work pretty much the same way. It's just a matter of how big of an impact they have. So for the example, when we've got 2 plot points, the player of your choice gets something moderately helpful or unhelpful. Enter any suggestions for the GM into chat, or you can have the GM come up with something entirely on their own. So just choose if you want it to be helpful or unhelpful to the party, and that's kind of how you can use them. You can throw in your own suggestions as well. How those work: 1 plot point is something trivially helpful or unhelpful. 2 is moderately. 3 is very, and 4 is very to the entire party. So if you want to do something to help the entire party or really throw a monkey wrench in their plans, 4 plot points will do that. So that's guild coins. And then finally, we've got donations. So if you want to help out with keeping the lights on in the place, so to speak, there's a number of ways that you can financially contribute. One of those being coffee.com/Raven or Raven.rocks. You can see both of those examples down there at the bottom. Those are the addresses to do direct donations. You can also do Twitch subscriptions or bits. Those work the same way. And then finally, Patreon. We've got a Patreon, which you should see in chat here any second if it's not there already. And our Bard tier patrons and higher get credits towards viewer actions every month that they can use on any show that they would like. You just have to let us know in chat how you want to spend those, and then we'll hand those out. So some very cool stuff. Before we hop over to see the cast, one last thing to mention is a couple things on this chart here. We've already covered the D6 and the plot points, but the triple crits, what that means is you can gift auto critical successes. And you can, it's triple because you get 3. You can divvy those out however you'd like. You can do 2 to the cast, 1 to the game master, all of them to the game master, however you want to do it. So they work much like the D6s. The cast members just grab that when they're available and they really need them and use them. So it's pretty cool. And then finally, the last one, introduce an ally or enemy NPC. Just give us a brief description of what you want this character to look like, kind of their character concept and a name, and let us know if you want it to be an enemy or an ally to the party, and the GM will basically take that and run with it. So really cool ways that you can participate. Lastly, I just want to take a quick moment to mention our sponsors. If you look at the logos down below, that's who's sponsoring this episode, and we'll talk a little bit about that before we introduce everybody as well on the next scene. So yeah, check all this stuff out and thank them for supporting us, and thank you for being here and watching. Let's go say hi to the cast. Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are here with the next episode of Hunters of Calamity 2, and I'm really excited about it. So last session we had was pretty wild. We had people teleporting all over the place, as Wesley's little magic trick there mostly worked, but had a little bit of a glitch to it. So we had Al showing up at her sister's house. And then making her way back, along the way picking up a dire dog as a pet, which is now addicted to sugar. Because it wouldn't be hunters if it wasn't something weird like that. We've got Lula May, who ended up in Timothy Rackett's Jeep, accompanied him to a board meeting, and ended up blowing it up through various means. Now has that Jeep, and is headed back and picked up MJ along the way, rescuing MJ from Lula May's lemonade truck, which is sort of a jalopy with a really old speaker and stuff on it. So we had that. Amanda ended up with Maggie in the middle of a minefield, had a conversation. Maggie's definitely got a unique perspective on the world and kept calling them boom flowers rather than mines. There was a little bit of shenanigans there. Amanda might have stepped on a couple of mines, but ultimately ended up being relatively okay. Though Amanda has not learned the special technique that Maggie used to launch Amanda across the minefield. To get her to go away. So we'll see what happens there. I'm sure Maggie will appear at some point or another again. And that brings us to Wesley, who we don't know where Wesley is yet. But before we find out, I'm going to give everybody a chance to introduce themselves, starting with Pat. Tell us a little bit about Wesley and yourself.
Hey, I'm Pat. I'm a Tactric on Twitter and Twitch and places online. I play games on this channel, on my channel, on lots of channels. There is content on my channel now. It's happening. Yay. I actually remember it exists and we do things there. But yeah, I'm playing Wesley. Wesley is the leader of the cult of the Church of the Sleeveless Way, which is definitely not a cult and it was a respectable religion. And he's really nailing this whole magic thing with the help of his super helpful, not at all bad for him, like black power rocks.
Yes. Yeah, the Dark Lyridium is totally harmless and safe to use.
Maybe we shouldn't be calling them black power rocks as long as we without Jamie here. We should be letting her call them the black power rocks.
I did not make that connection.
I didn't either until you mentioned that. Good point. Good point. Their official name is Dark Lyridium, by the way. But yeah, that sounds about right for Wesley. Alex, tell us a little bit about Al and yourself.
God damn it. I'm still not used to this. I think my name's Alex. I'm an artist. I'm a digital artist. I'm not good at introductions, which is why I haven't been doing them for myself most of the time. Yeah, so I play Al. Al is a robot who is looking for her sister.
Awesome. And you also just started streaming art and stuff and going for affiliate, right?
Yep. I'm going to be doing some more like super secret art streams and stuff. So if you follow at Can Chaos Art on Twitch, or that'd be me. And I'm doing digital art as a disabled person. I do everything by mouse. Today I did a super secret stream so I could try and get my numbers up for affiliates. And I did a couple of emotes, actually. I did one for Live 101, who is another artist who actually came by and was my first ever raid on Mondays, because I'm streaming regularly on Mondays, starting between 10 11 a.m. Pacific time and ending around 2 3 p.m. Pacific time. I kind of give myself a bit of wiggle room because, as I said, I'm disabled and I need to wake up and have caffeine before I can do things. Yeah.
Fantastic. Next, we've got IC Historian. Tell us a little bit about Lula May and yourself.
Well, hello. I am IC Historian. I don't do anything cool like streaming or streaming art, but I am here. IC Historian, any place I feel like being found. And I play Lula May Jessup. Lula May is a former gray market arms dealer turned gray market arms dealer who's being a little bit more secretive about it. And she recently may or may not have blown up a board meeting of one of the most powerful corporations on the planet, which I'm sure will not come back to haunt her at all, and was totally fine. I think that was just a flawless, entirely consequence-free decision on her part.
Of course. All right. Next, we've got Michael. Tell us a little bit about Amanda and yourself.
Hello there, I'm Michael Wayne, and you give me a clip, I'll give you a GIF. You can find me both on Twitter and Twitch under that handle. I will be playing Amanda Starr, a yo-yo monk that manufactures a lot of things out of trash in a red-green style. Last episode learned that maybe bouncing off a minefield multiple times might have been a bad idea. But let's find out again, this time, on Hunters of Calamity.
Fantastic. Before I say just my little bit, I'll quickly introduce those who aren't currently here. Zan is not here at the moment. He plays Jebediah Mason, sort of the intern for Wesley. An up-and-coming honorary Ted in the Church of the Sleeveless Way organization. Zan's fantastic. Definitely check out his stuff at InsanityTTRPG on Twitter. And I believe it's insanitygaming.com, I think is the web address. If that's not correct, the link should be in his Twitter bio. Definitely check that out. Zan might be joining us at the break, it looks like. Some internet and technical issues going on there. But there's a good chance we'll see him at the break. Same with Nikki, who could not meet up with us at the start time because of just life stuff going on. But it looks like she will be here by the break. So we will have hopefully both of them at the break in about an hour and a half. And she plays MJ, who is a delight, but also a compulsive liar as the character trait. And it's really funny seeing how Nikki plays that in situations where MJ really has no reason to lie, but still does. It's fantastic. And that just leaves me. So I'm Raven. I'm the creative director for the Raven Evermore, which includes tabletop design, professional game master, streaming, voice acting, a whole bunch of stuff, as well as art. I do the vast majority of the cover art and overlays for the channel, and the emotes as well. You can check out all my stuff at my Linktree, which is right there in chat. It's got all my social profiles and all that stuff in there. And then lastly, quick mention about sponsors. Thanks to Grinding Coffee Company. Go to grindingcoffee.co and use the code RAVVYN and get 13% off your order. It's really good coffee. They roast it right before they ship it, so it's super fresh. I've had 5 different ones, I think it was. 5 different varieties from there, and they're all fantastic. And then finally, Fundamental RPG, which is the system that this game runs on. Hunters of Calamity 2 runs off of the playtest version of 2nd edition, which should be out in full official release later this year. And get the 1st edition at the link that's in chat on Amazon. or second edition. There is a playtest version available for patrons on Patreon. And yeah, thanks, Michael. That is a magnet that I have available in my coffee shop, which is a reference to something that's happened in the game, Hoffy, which is the brand of like store brand coffee. It's not quite coffee. It's got a little bit of an artificial substitute in there, and it basically works like speed. Just makes you super energetic before you crash. So that's their logo. And then finally, Intrepid, which is my brand of IRL adventuring gear. So mostly casual wear, sportswear, and accessories. Right now, there's a travel mug that's up there for 10% off, probably till the end of the month, is how long that sale will be running. And it's pretty cool. So definitely check it out. There's a link to all of that in chat as well. So all that out of the way, let's jump into the game. So Wesley, I asked you earlier, what was the last thought through Wesley's head when the teleport happened? And you said that Wesley was thinking, man, I'm really nailing this teleport thing, right?
This is going really, really great, and I can feel it.
Okay.
I'm nailing it.
So I think what's going to happen with Wesley is teleportation is going to go off. You're going to feel this weird warped sense of perception. Everything goes black. And then when you wake up, there's a bit of a crash. And you feel like you've landed on something rather hard and metallic. And as you slowly come to, you open your eyes, and it's a dimly lit room, it looks like. You can hear something that sounds kind of like a robotic voice going, what hit me? And the room starts to look a little bit more familiar. It looks like some place that you've seen perhaps in the compound. And that voice sounds familiar too. Takes you a little bit to kind of put all the pieces together, but you think you might have landed on top of Sleeve Saya.
It is me. It is Brother Wesley. I have my miracles have expanded and clearly know no bounds. I am here.
Sleeve Saya just slowly picks themselves up, displacing you a bit, and they pull themselves up to their full height and go, oh, this is amazing! Though perhaps your miracles could work on their landing next time?
I mean, yes, that is certainly something that I myself had planned to do, and I will lodge your suggestion in with the decision I had already made to do so.
Great! Well, in the meantime, it's great to have you back. There's a lot of administrative decisions that need to be made, and I have done a opposite of optimal job with it.
Mm-hmm.
Not a bad job, just, not optimal.
Nope, that's not. Yeah, bad is not the opposite of optimal. And in my bounding faith, I believe that you will. You're gonna nail. You're gonna do great with that, and I will just leave you to all that, and I start moving towards the door.
So, they wheel in front of the door before you can get to it and go, wait, so I just need your help with one decision. You see, I decided that, we had run out of hot water, and so I decided that we should put Hoffy in the water, and that would kind of be like heating it up. I don't really understand how flashbacks work.
Where was all of our hot water going? Important question there.
That would have been a great question to ask. I did not do that. But all the Hoffy went into the water supply, and now all the Hoffy's gone, and the Teds are rioting.
The Hoffy isn't. It's what I hear, Brother Sleeve Saya, is that the Hoffy is not gone. The Teds are just rioting because they have not been explained the joys of new Hoffy.
New
And
Hoffy.
its experimental new flavor, which they will surely find in the faith is even better than the original.
I see.
Until we get enough of the original that we can just re-release the original, and then they'll be hooked on that shit again.
I see. This sounds like a familiar strategy. Something that started with a C, ended with an Ola. I think somebody like that tried something like that once. That is a great plan. We'll do that. And they're totally not striking and riding and running around because of the Hoffy showers, which then soaked into their skin. That's definitely not what happened.
I'm not seeing problems with the Hoffy doing that yet. You said, I think you didn't finish your thought. You said striking. They're striking what? Or who?
Oh no, they're just refusing to do anything but run around in literal circles until they get more Hoffy. Will this new Hoffy taste like dirt?
We can certainly try to make it taste like dirt. I think
that'll be hard.
I think we have the power to do that. Is that what they want? Do they miss the real dirt flavor?
I think they just miss the drugs of it, like the caffeine and whatever else they put in there that makes them so wired.
Right, but now they've got that in their water, it is even more readily available, is what I'm hearing.
Well, it was, and then they really liked it, so they took really long showers, and now all the water's gone.
Wait, I feel like I should have caught this earlier. How long have the Teds been taking showers?
Pretty much since we tried the whole Hoffy and the water thing. Well, it used to be once a week, and now it's been like 3 times a day.
I was gonna say, I don't remember that even being in the facility, if I'm gonna be quite honest.
It's a recent addition.
Right. Do we have just a big hose we could use?
We have a hose. We have no water.
Okay. Do we have?
There's still some lemonade left.
Yeah. Is that the clearest liquid that we have access to right now?
I mean, well, there's my supply of motor oil, which is kind of clear, but that's mine.
It's clear?
Mostly.
Okay, moving past that.
It's about the color and consistency of corn syrup, but slippery instead of sticky.
Continuing to move past that. So, what do we need the water for? So they want their drugs, is what I'm hearing. They don't care so much about the water that was just really a vehicle for the drugs.
Pretty much.
I mean, I feel like you could. I feel like I must have seen like. Am I imagining? I feel like there was a sign or an advertisement at some point with Lula May just like slapping a pitcher of lemonade that was like, y'all can fit so much drugs in here, or something like that.
Speaking of hallucinating, Brownie shows up on your shoulder and goes, "Oh yeah, I think you're right."
Yeah, it's not just me remembering it. Yeah, so lemonade as our new drug delivery system until like water shows up or something. It falls from the sky. How hard could it be to get?
That sounds like a question best suited for other meatbags to answer.
I mean, it sounds to me like we've solved this problem already. Am I missing something?
Maybe just address them and let them know that they'll have something better than Hoffy soon.
Thank you! Like, is there some sort of like rallying points? Do they have
Lula
like
May's Jebonade?
Lula May's Jebonade?
Or Tednade.
Is
Lula May's Tednade. Specifically brewed for Teds.
Lula May's Methanade. It writes itself.
Yeah! Lula May's Methanade.
Now, is there some sort of like all compound assembly that takes place where everyone is like gathered in some sort of auditorium so that it's easier to talk
Usually
to them?
we just tell them all to go into the middle of the compound, and I stand on top of the office stairs and yell at them.
All right, well, let's do that then. We don't want, I mean, don't fix something that's not broken. Are the stairs broken? Do we have to fix those stairs?
No, the stairs are not broken.
All right.
The railing's, a little shaky, but the stairs are fine.
It's who's there? We're not safety inspectors. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, go get him. Let's do it.
Yep. Per Merc's orders, we fired the last safety inspector from a cannon.
Oh, see,
When
Merc says fire, I feel like half the time it's the cannon and half the time it's like smoke them over a fire, and then they go to
It was a little of both. They were on fire when they left the cannon.
Right, but I guess never mind. I imagined more of a use for the meat afterwards, but.
Oh, we'd converted over to a Ted brand canned meat product by then.
Right, but never mind. Well, this isn't one problatunity at a time.
Problatunity. Right.
Yes, I've picked up quite a lot of excellent managerial jargon from Lula May. We're clearly nailing this.
That's fantastic, because like I said, I'm not bad at this job, but I'm not good either. So, this way, noble leader. And Sleeve Saya, they open the door for you. And when you step out, you can see there's literally dozens of Teds in like the courtyard area that are running around in circles like a bad imitation of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Wouldn't it be more like an imitation of Mabel from Gravity Falls, just running in a circle on the ground?
No, that's too cute and normal. Also, hi Mia. Very nice to have you on the stream. Welcome in, and yes, you can use that subscription for 2d6s, which you can split those up between the cast and the GM, or give all of them to one or the other. You can do that, or you can do 2 plot points, and there's a full description of how those work in the panels down below.
I've been shouting out art. I've been shouting out the channel and the various art streams I've been hanging out in.
Oh, thank you.
Sorry.
So, Wesley, you walk out there and that's what you see. How do you want to do this?
All right. I'm gonna center myself, and in how some people have that thing for public speaking where they picture everyone in their underwear. Wesley needs to get angry to public speak, I feel like, with this group. And so he pictures all of the Ted Juniors as Ted Senior to really rile himself up. The asshole ghost Ted that haunts me, for anyone not familiar.
Yeah, the Ted Senior will probably show up too and just be like, yeah, what are you gonna say, asshole?
All right, here we go. Everybody stop fucking running around, shut up and listen.
Oh yeah, that's gonna work real great. And,
yes.
Ted Senior's actually kind of correct because they're all still running around in circles.
Perhaps you know what? Fine. We need a display of divine magic power to attract attention. That's what Merc would do. That always got people's attention. Is there something around that looks like it would be? I mean, I could try and blow something or someone up. I could just try and add special dark lyridium effects around myself to make myself look imposing and carry my voice maybe.
Absolutely. You do have dark lyridium crystals with you. There's a couple of Teds that are sweating pretty hard that you think you could probably make explode with magic. if you really wanted to. There is one of the old broken down Jeeps, sort of in the back corner of the courtyard, that probably still has some fuel in the tank that you could blow up. Yeah, you can always use Daunt to be imposing, or
That's
if you
what I
want
was-
to be magically imposing, you could use magic engineering.
Yeah, that's I was going for Daunt initially, and if that didn't work, I was gonna potentially blow something up.
Gotcha.
And-
What's up, Michael?
In addition to that, Amanda is also in kind of like their own redneck mech, essentially,
You,
that has in a bed. So, like, you
You
can
actually aren't here at the moment.
Oh,
This
my
is happening-
mistake.
So I was going to get to that, but this is happening before all of you showed up, because as we also learned last session, you all showed up at different times in different areas. So yeah, currently Wesley's the only one of the party that's in the compound. But yeah, go ahead, Pat.
Yeah, so I think I'm gonna continue trying to just berate them into listening with Daunt, and if that is unsuccessful, I will make myself more magically imposing.
All right, yeah, go ahead and give Daunt a try. 19?
19. I've got I've got 2d6 from the sub, right? Why don't we make those d6s instead of plot points, and I will use one here.
All right. We're also only one away from the one from the game tweet. Throw that in chat. Where is my d6 counter? All right, so using the subscription for 2 d6s, I'm gonna go ahead and just add 1 to the counter since you're gonna use 1 right now. Okay. And then, oh, you added a 4 onto that, so that's a 23. Yeah, that's a decent job. Most of them stop running around in circles and instead just, like, run in place. All of them are sweating a lot. They don't look the healthiest.
I can save the magic escalation for when if anyone tries to make a scene.
Yeah, that works. But they're listening to you as best they can.
Now, Brother Sleep Saya here has informed me that in your wasteful, addictive tendencies and not being able to handle your substances, as is our law, that you've gone through all of our clear water fluid and also used up all of the Hoffy. Is that correct?
Some of them kind of nervously just kind of, something like that, yeah.
Again, I hear that you are throwing little fits. You are refusing to do shit when it is clearly your own fault that this happened. And you're ignoring the fact that this isn't even a problem. The Hoffy was only ever just the vessel for the drugs, the vessel for your stimulants that you need to carry out the church's holy goals. Put them in some fucking lemonade or something. Just get them into your body some other ways. What's the problem here?
One of the twitchier ones just yells out like, "But we're all out of Hoffy. The Sleeve Saya, the metal one, told us to pour it all into the water."
All right, is that we don't have anything harder than the Hoffy left?
Well, I mean, there's the Merc brand moonshine that we're supposed to sell in town.
Right, that's a little more of a downer. We don't have any more stimulants left.
I mean, Philosopher Ted has some stimulating conversation that he does every Wednesday night at the meeting.
All right, where do we get our goddamn Hoffy from?
Coffee plant, like the factory, not like a plant, not the green plant, like the plant that has walls and a ceiling and machinery.
Now, important question here: does the Hoffy plant make Hoffy from Hoffy plants? Are there actual plants, or was it just the wrong word?
Oh, we don't know what's in Hoffy. They keep that a closely guarded secret.
Who owns the Hoffy plant? And how far away is it?
That's a good question. I didn't think about who owns it.
How barricaded are its doors?
A name that I will come up with shortly that they give you, somebody you haven't met yet.
Okay.
And the doors are, it's just like, it's a factory. It's standard security. So for standard security, so for this group, I'd say extremely light security. For the average person, it would be like, oh, they have locked doors in the security system.
All right, I've got to say here, I'm disappointed because I'm still not hearing a fucking problem other than that you have not solved this yourselves. There's a Hoffy plant that's got Hoffy. You are all here. Presumably you still know how to use your weapons. Yes. Go
Yeah.
get what you need.
We should just like steal it.
Claim it. Have you read none of the teachings? Have you read none of the Gospel of Merc?
I mean, there's been some revisions.
I'm sorry, revisions? This is news to me. Who is revising the written word of the scribe? Who is me?
I mean, I don't want to, break any of the statutes and everything that says we shouldn't snitch on each other, but I will say that this person that did the revisions was authorized to do so questionably and may or may not have been metal. You turned around, Sleep Sai is nowhere to be seen, by the way.
Well, I don't see anyone like that here. I don't see anyone like that solving your problems for you or giving you the advice to solve your problems. I seem to remember from the story you just told me that some fucking asshole that sounds like that is the one that cost you all your Hoffy to begin with. So, maybe some people here are just not that reliable and you should listen to fucking me instead of them.
From a metal barrel that's sort of next to the office, you hear a muffled robotic voice going like, yeah, let's stop focusing on the metal one. Let's focus on the problem. All of the Teds seem kind of like not sure what to do now. They're just fidgeting and nervous and guilty.
All right, do we have our God, what the fuck was the name for it? Like a war procession? Do we have our vehicle? Where you all used to be raiders. Why are you not raiding? Where are the goddamn supplies?
Yeah, they don't really have a good answer for you. That a bunch of them mumble and mutter and stuff. And they all just start sort of moving towards the exit of the compound, and finally one of them just yells out like, all right, we'll be back with supplies. And they all, like Sonic the Hedgehog, run out of there.
Are they taking any vehicles or weapons or anything?
Some of them have weapons.
Jesus. Where you said that? Where's the metal barrel that I heard?
It's like just on the side of the office, like tucked around the corner, but you can still see part of the barrel sticking out from the side.
Yep, I'm gonna go over. I'm just gonna kick the barrel real loud, or bang something loud on it.
Yeah, you just hear clatter and Wah!
Why are they so bad at raiding? Where are?
Oh, it's you, noble leader. Well, you see, after Merc left, I had to make some revisions because, well, people didn't really like us.
Who didn't like you? Is what I'm hearing. Who didn't like you?
Oh, who didn't like me? Oh, I am extremely likable. Everybody loved me. They just didn't love the fact that we, it stole all their stuff and killed them. And
well, I mean, if we killed them, I don't see why their opinion matters.
Well, it's more the people that survived, that got away from the killing.
Well, why the fuck were we leaving survivors, Sleep Saya?
Well, you see, people didn't like us, and so recruitment was down, and lower personnel means fewer heads to chase down the ones that get away. It was sort of an HR issue.
All right, it's okay. Are the excuses going to continue, or are you going to tell me what you fucking changed?
Oh, I have plenty of excuses. It's one of my specialties.
Can the Teds ingest your excuses and become themselves again? If not, if your excuses aren't drugs, I don't want to hear them right now.
Well, I mean, I guess they could be audible. Does that
The
work?
revisions. Get to the goddamn revisions.
Oh, right, the revisions. Here you go. And there's just like a little slot on sleeve side that opens up and out pops a book. And it's like a dual language dictionary where you've got like the one language on the one side and the other language on the opposite side. And it shows you like what's been changed.
Is it like I don't know if you ever saw, like, SparkNotes did this thing with like Shakespeare plays where it had just the Shakespeare text on one side and the modernized English version of it on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like that.
Okay, what have they done to my holy text?
It's basically it like they went from being actual like bandits and raiders and the sci-fi equivalent to ancient Vikings pillaging the countryside to like a group that likes to act like a gang but isn't actually a gang.
Jehovah's Witnesses?
A less clean version of that, I guess, because most of them don't wear shirts and they live in the dirt. And...
You know what? There is some good news to this, which is that I was a little bit afraid when Merc showed back up that he might murder me over something stupid. But when he sees this, he's gonna spend a lot of time tearing you to fucking bits first. Did you think about that one?
Well, I mean, Merc did leave me in charge, so I mean, if we should be blaming anyone, it should be blaming.
Mm-hmm.
It should be blaming the look at the time. We've got stuff to do. What were we talking about? I don't even remember. Probably wasn't important. We should work on getting those supplies.
Right, so I'm confused. Did they leave to get raiding supplies? Do we not have raiding supplies anymore? Or are they doing the actual raiding? They all just kind of ran off like slapshot.
I think I saw some of them had guns and things. I saw one of them pulling a sled, so I'm not sure where he got the sled from, but anyways, I think they're going to get Hoffy.
All right. Damn it, Saya.
So with that, I think we're going to fast forward a bit here. And the next evening is when everybody shows up, coming through the front gate. You've got Lula May and MJ pulling up in a fancy Jeep. And then Al and Amanda show up sometime after that on foot with a dire dog. Also, get a discipline roll from Wesley.
Oh yeah, I did fail one of those on the teleport, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
22.
22? You hear just the faintest tiny bit of a sound of the Lula May lemonade jingle, like it's being played from an old ice cream truck. Sort of hear it on the wind, and then it's gone.
Did it sound like it was coming from inside the compound?
No, like somewhere out on the horizon.
All right. I'll store that away.
And yeah, so everybody else, it's the evening. You've shown up at the compound, and it's very empty. There doesn't seem to be any Teds here for the most part.
Good.
Amanda,
I'm only interested in taking care of my dog right now.
like you can audibly see like the red, the purples and the greens on their jacket are just filled with like brown dirt as they walk. Like dirt and like almost like a little bit of smoke rises still from their hair as they walk and look very kind of like the result of many explosions of mines and still survived.
Did you like walk into a Saturday morning cartoon or something? Like what happened here? Were you chasing like a bipedal bird?
No, I walked. I was teleported. I was appearing in the middle of a minefield, and I got blown up on my way out, and also on my way back in because the nice lady had a cool techniques they used to push me all the way across the minefield.
Cool techniques like I'm imagining besides just like with their arms then.
A single slap and across the entire minefield.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds weird. All right.
Yes, and I wanted to learn how to do it myself. I failed.
Well, I mean, I guess you could like practice or something here. There's not a lot of Teds left to slap around. I sent them out on a task. Shit's really interim
Where are your
leadership.
Teds?
Hopefully raiding a factory. Successfully.
Lemonade or
Wait,
hot
no, I don't care. I don't actually care. I need some meat for my dog.
Yeah, I'll point you towards like the kennel area. Like we used to raise those here, I think. So there
Cool.
should be like snacks
His
and
na-
shit.
His name is Molasses.
Is it 'cause he's so sweet?
Molasses.
No, it's because he ate the fuck down of sugar and got slow as shit.
Oh.
Will syrup work too?
As a name?
Yeah, Amanda is literally asking because they're having trouble actually remembering molasses and how to say it because they're just so tired.
No. His name's Molasses.
Speaking of your little molasses mutt there, it doesn't look like molasses, but his drool has about the same consistency right now because there's just so much sugar. And it's
Yeah, so where's
syrupy
your
and
water?
We don't have any.
Oh, so that's what they went raiding
What the
for.
fuck?
No, they went raiding for more Hoffy.
Ah,
Don't you
Well-
flesh bags need water?
Yeah, and that if this place had not been left in the incompetent robotic hands of fucking Sleeve Saya, someone might have remembered that. Instead, he let them use it all, and then use all the Hoffy.
I'm a robot and I remember that you flesh sacks need water and food.
I didn't say he's a good robot. I just said he's here.
Do you have lemonade?
I think at that moment, Lulame, like, is as if like saying the word lemonade almost like causes her to appear. She pulls in with MJ, and like seeing the sort of destruction, she gets out and like a mom who's come home after like the kids totally didn't have a party. She like looks around and then trains her eyes on Wes. And just sort of folds her hands in front of her and arches just one eyebrow as if to say,
Oh, you're in trouble.
well,
when you actually look at Amanda, there's then just like a outline of where Amanda was as Amanda runs towards the junkyard park.
So that was a
like-
yes to the Saturday cartoon.
Al's already walking for the kennels, so doesn't even see Lulame do that.
That's funny.
Bye,
Yeah.
Dad.
Yeah. So apparently that shitty pile of bolts that got left in charge wound up. I guess you might call it a workers' strike if you could call Ted's workers.
Oh. Well, it sure is a shame that we, decided to skip our meeting for the new human resources policies that I drew up. Now, Wesley, darling, I do have a question. When you did your teleportation magic, did you intend to drop my ass quite literally into the arms of Tim Racket, or was that just a little added bonus for old Lula May?
Is that what happened? That's, you know what? I thought my miracle was going to be impressive if I got us all here, but being able to, I feel like it's almost more impressive if I could teleport that many people and send them all to different places.
Yeah.
That's a lot of shit to juggle.
Yes, and I'll tell you something. You did really an admirable job, but unfortunately, I might have had to blow up some of Danco's middle management in order to get us out of here, so there may be a couple repercussions of your little Houdini act that we may need to cycle back to at a later date.
What was, I'm sorry, what was the unfortunate part of that?
Well,
that sounds like a win-win to me.
I'm not saying no.
I didn't get to blow
it's
up
on the
boardroom.
whiteboard. Right. I'm not saying no. I am just saying that, sometimes when a man likes a woman and has a hard time processing, respectful boundaries or, workplace harassment legislation, sometimes perhaps they can become a bit agitated when their affections are not immediately returned, and also their Jeep gets stolen and you try to blow them up with one of those, crazy cocaine rocks of yours. So,
maybe.
we just, it just may be something we want to keep in our little parking lot.
So at the start of that little monologue there, real quick for Wesley, Ted Senior, your ghost Ted, just looks and goes, "Oh God, is she gonna give us the birds and the bees speech?" And Brownie, the little gingerbread man Brownie, for those who are unfamiliar, that hallucination that Wesley gets, covers their what would be their ears and goes, "Oh, I don't want to hear about this." So that's happening while Lulamay's talking.
Wesley is at least 90% of the time looking directly at you and not at either of these two hallucinations. At least 90% of the time.
Yeah. So,
I mean, so is he dead now, or do we need to kill him? Because it sounds like he should definitely be dead. Also, I'm going to object to the fact that apparently everyone's blowing up shit now except me. You got to blow up that board meeting. I didn't get to go with the Teds to blow up the Hoffy plant.
You sent
or seize it,
to
I
a
guess.
Hoffy plant?
Well, yeah. So like factory, not the plant, because they don't know if there are plants. This came up. But so after using up all of their water, apparently, because apparently Teds need water, Sleeve Saya then let them use up all of the Hoffy, and then their workers' strike was mainly due to the fact that they didn't have enough drugs. So I reminded them of our religious roots and told them to go seize the fucking plant.
Now, Wes, is this like the first time you've heard all the words that you just said in that order?
I mean, I think I said them mostly like that before.
And never at any time did maybe that bring about the idea that perhaps some slight organizational restructuring might benefit everybody?
Oh yeah, I mean I figured that would be our first project when you got back, and I mean I don't know if I have the religious authority to kill Sleeve Saya, but we should certainly get him out of a managerial position.
Well, you know what, Wes? Sometime I'll tell you something, bless your heart. You just always have a way of turning it around. At the last minute, You always just have a way of turning it around. And she's gonna like take out. She's like totally taken everything of Tim's like out of the car. Like I imagine one of his dumb like jackets with no sleeves. Like she's taken like and like a sheaf of paperwork and whatever. She's like clearly like ripped all that stuff out. And she's gonna say, I think perhaps one of our orders of business is to rebalance some of the authority structures here at the Church of the Sleepless Way and figure out if we could not, perhaps in a more egalitarian manner, harness the power of those of those rocks we found. And like she's gonna show some like schematics that she had like come up with that like obviously like that look surprisingly like real, because this is actually what Lula May does aside from get people to do what she wants. She's like drawn like ways to test the run a current through the little crystal and like see what it does and all of this stuff. And she's like, now, your water situation, I'm not gonna lie, is gonna put a bit of a damper on our plans, but I do believe if we can figure out how to more regularly use the power of these here crystals, you and I might be sitting pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. I did forget that was our goal in bringing them back, but yes, absolutely.
Yes, that is why we need. I talked about having the daily stand up. You know what I mean? Like where we went over the goals, and I do think we may need to return to that. I love your energy and your drive. This is a compliment sandwich. I don't know if you're aware. I put up the poster in the main office. I did put up the compliment sandwich poster several times.
I tried to tell them about the probabilities. I think they got it.
Oh, the probabilities. Yes. Oh, I love it. But it's really gonna slow down their spelling. We've been working on some of the spelling, but you know what? We will cross that bridge when we get to it. It's a probability.
That's tomorrow's probability.
Yes, tomorrow, Lula May, if she doesn't, get herself blown up between now and then, we'll have to deal with that one. But tonight's Lula May needs several bottles of something and a place with a reliable source of electricity. You got any pads left over? We could set up a generator here in the corral.
It's, I would not be surprised if we opened a door and it was just a big hamster wheel at some point. Sleep Sai has been making some changes to the religious text that I'm not a fan of. So we need to, I think we need a brand refocusing for the organization. I think we've lost some of the imposing and lethal impact that we used to radiate out to people. Has apparently been I just hold up the fucking like. For some reason, I assume Sleep Sai is like marked out all my text with crayons. I don't know why that's what I picture, but that's what I'm picturing.
That fits, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, did you say crayons?
Yes.
But you said them like cranberries.
Because again, it's different in Hunters of Calamity than it is in the real world.
All right.
Is it? That might just be how I say crayons.
Lula May is gonna take.
It's a regional thing, I think.
Okay, that is like the best. That is the
Is it
best.
a cat thing?
Oh my goodness! I hope somebody clips that because that is such a cool sound.
A pat / whatever area you're in thing.
So Lula May is going to take.
Is that how you said it?
Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool.
I love it. Lula May's gonna hold up her like schematics, and she's gonna be like, I think, Wesley, for the first time, you and I might actually be on the same page. And so she's going to sort of go past and go into the office. Is Sleeve Saya like in the office, or is he like cowering?
Oh, Sleep Saya has made themselves scarce.
Yeah. So basically what Lula May is going to do is she is going to go to a back like conference room that probably nobody remembered was there because they're woefully inefficient. And she is literally and I'm imagining she has got MJ with her, and they're just going to start setting up like a testing, like a place where they can safely test small pieces of the crystal to figure out what they can actually do with it as non-witches. Now, I do have one quick procedural question for my fabulous game master. If I start taking points in magical engineering, does that make me what this game world would consider a witch? Or is that like a storytelling distinction?
It would.
Same question, because I've already taken 2 points in it.
I hadn't really thought about leveling up into magic in this setting. I kind of imagined it sort of like either you have it or you don't.
All right, that's fine.
But I'm not opposed to that. And I think it would be in this situation, this scenario, it would be how much you put into it and how much you start using it.
That's fine. I just wanted to double check because I know that the crystals and different parts of the world reacted differently, but like Lula May would not consider herself to be now a magic user. It's more because she's been interacting with this magic material.
Think of it like the difference between having a hobby and then having a job. So if it's a hobby, sure, you're probably fine. If you start doing like professional levels of magic, then yeah, it'll start having different consequences.
Fabulous. So basically she's just gonna go in and like she's gonna neatly put anything that was in there, all of which is probably like racy gear and cog magazines and like a couple of empty canisters of oil, and she's gonna like gingerly put them on sleeve size desk like the way that your mom would with your cigarettes when you were like 17. And then she's going to just start setting up her where she'll be able to test stuff.
Okay. Yeah, there's definitely a appropriate space for it that you can take over without any issue. Just out of curiosity, does anybody go looking for Sleeve Saya?
No.
No.
Yeah, once I get my dog settled.
Okay. So you're able to get to the dog kennel area, and there's plenty of space for molasses.
And pour them some lemonade. Like a can of beef broth I found somewhere.
Perfect. They're happy as can be. Yep. That works. And then yeah, as you start looking around for Sleeve Saya, they're not in any place that you would normally think to look. And as you start looking for other places, you do notice that there's a barrel, like one of those giant barrels of motor oil, like fresh motor oil. And there seems to be like a bendy straw sticking out of the top of it. That looks a little bit odd. May I have you do a hearing check? Hey, thanks for that raid, Campfire Quest. Welcome in.
A hearing check, right? I gotta pull up my
How was your
character sheet.
stream? Thanks so much for that follow. I hope you all had a good stream.
10.
A 10. So it's that normally would not be enough, but this is so loud and just obviously not real sounds. You faintly hear what sounds like somebody trying to simulate the sound of bubbles.
She leans on the top of the barrel to keep it closed. And she pinches the straw shut.
There's a sound of gasping and just
And she opens her fingers again.
Oh god, that's much better. Wait a minute. I don't have to breathe. Why do I have this straw?
Yeah, I'm wondering the same thing. I can take it as somebody you can help with that.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you being an idiot.
There's nobody here. That's just oil. Your friendly neighborhood talking oil.
That's when Al does the secret robot Morse code.
What is the secret robot Morse code?
Yeah.
It's not picking up. It sounds like you're clapping though, or it looks like you're clapping rather.
Okay. Dot, 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 dot. Dave and a haircuts. 2 bits.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, Susaya does the 2 bits thing against the barrel wall.
I'm serious. How the fuck can you forget that flesh bags need water? You kept them alive this long.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just really lucky, I guess.
I'm serious though. If you you want a better chance of this lasting for you, which the way Wesley and Lila May are looking, it ain't lasting for you. You want a chance of this lasting for you? There's somebody I know who could probably help with that.
The lid peeks up just a little bit, not much because you're leaning
She lets
against
it because she lets it. She's like looking in.
And yeah, you see the little eye of Sleeve Saya poking up, and like they just look at you and go,
No, I wasn't, but I
Was it?
kind of recognized the way you two were looking and how fucked up he is.
sorry, what?
Sorry, Zoom chat.
Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, they go, who is it?
She's this lady I know. I can never remember her name, but she's fixed me up. Hell, she's the only reason I'm still able to look for my sister.
That sounds like a great place to hide out. And I'll just
Only
hide
if
there
you-
and wait for
only-
this all to blow over.
Well, if you're not good, well, that's the thing. It's a scrapyard.
So I could just pretend to be deactivated, just sit in the scrapyard.
Or you
Perfect
could
camouflage.
let her help you out and like give you enough brains in your noggin to not hold this shit again.
I mean, I already am a genius, but I suppose I could use some more smarts.
All right. Just don't stick your fucking straw out of the. She shoves the straw into the barrel. And it's like, just stick your ass in the bottom of the barrel. Don't make any noise, and I'll come back for you later tonight.
When you stuff the straw back in, you just hear my Mindy straw! And then they poke the lid up again and go, oh, right. Be as quiet. Motor oil.
Motor
And
oil
then-
doesn't make any goddamn noise. Stop making bubbles. And then she shoves it closed.
They make a blub 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 noise as they sink back down into the bottom of the barrel, and then they're quiet. Oh goodness, good old Sleep Saya. All right, so with that, I think we can probably fast forward again to the next day. So that's 2 full nights of rest. So everybody should be at full health now.
Actually,
if
no.
you weren't.
That night, Alice's gonna be trying to sneak Sleep Saya out
Oh, okay.
and back to that other place that she came walking from.
Oh, perfect. 1 second then. What's up, Michael?
I just would like to that for Amanda. She does go to the junkyard and like passes by the muscled head and just going, "Hey," before going into the junkyard where they made this kind of like half mech, half bathtub bed thing, and just as before they pass out, just try to build like machines and stuff, and then they
Okay.
probably fall asleep. You good with the mechanic engineering role for that?
Sure.
Okay, and that'll be it.
All right. And the roll is 18. And what are you trying to do exactly?
Oh, these are just like random things. Like for example, have a little thing that be ready to have an energy source. Have to have like a little box that we can have a smoky quartz to use as a battery. A like maybe one that allows for like small little attachments to a laser gun or a shield. Like just random doohack. Like
I'll
not
tell you
good. It's
what.
just like they passed to sleep building that.
With an
So-
18, you can have a handful of gadgets that are like clockwork level technology. All right. Is there anything that Wesley or Lula May wanted to do that evening before we go on this smuggling job here?
Lula May is going to fashion she's gonna fashion like a new wheel for Sleeve Saya and like put it on his desk because his old wheel is kind of gross. She's gonna put it on his desk next to his box of porn and motor oil.
Fantastic. Anything for Wesley?
I would make myself if Lula May needed any magical assistance in the testing protocol, I'd make myself available for that. And otherwise, I think I would just dig through the revised book and make a definite list of all of the heresy.
Yeah. Yeah, as you go through, it's definitely like a very, very watered down version of what you're familiar with, and it's all centered around trying to get the public to like them, and recruitment drives, and things like that, and a lot of a lot of job perks for the administrator of the compound, aka Sleeve Saya.
Now, are these perks actually good, or are they just good to Sleeve Saya? Like, would I want
Mostly-
them?
No.
Okay.
It's mostly like hot motor oil baths and special charging stations and things like that. Like, yeah, nothing that you would really want.
Okay.
Just before I forget again, do the tea bags ever help out Sleep Salaya?
I forgot about that. Yeah, they enjoyed it. They enjoyed the tea in the motor oil bath for some reason. All right. Well, in that case, we'll move on to Hal sneaking Sleep Saya out of the compound. So night has fallen. It is very dark. And how would you like to do this?
Oh, Al's gonna do it the same way she always has. She's gonna walk in, yank Sleeve Saya out, shove him in a bag, and walk out the front.
All right. As you yank
Would you
him
like
out,
my blend-in roll?
Yes, but I can go ahead and tell you, as you haul them out of the barrel, there is definitely a "Ah! I'm being attacked!"
Idiot. Hey, it's me, dumbass.
Oh, right! Hello, fellow robot.
Yeah. Alright, get in the bag.
I prefer the...
You're getting in the
Definition
bag
of-
and you're shutting up until we're out of here.
Right, fine, I'm just saying, I would much
Shut
prefer to
up.
be on... Very rude.
Shut up.
It sleeps like
Puts
it's
them
in the
in the
bag. And much like if
And the
anybody's
best part
familiar
about it
with-
is, Al's face is basically just 2 lines
oh yeah,
that like moves around as she like looks at shit.
And if you're familiar with The Emperor's New Groove, that old Disney movie, Sleep Saya is doing spy music poorly from the bag.
Shut up, or I will break your vocal processor. I can do that.
But how will we sneak through if we don't have sneaky music?
By walking out, same way I get everywhere. I'm better at this than you are.
Well, I suppose if you want to do this the boring way. Fine. So they're still doing the spy music, it's just, like, barely audible.
Thank goodness the heads are all gone.
Yeah.
Just for a little like flavor add into this, like I find it funny, like right as like you say it starts to be quiet, and like Amanda like shouts out, "Quiet, Sleep Saya!"
That could be funny. I don't think you'd be able to hear the music from where you are, but you probably did hear the "Wah, I'm being attacked!" So that makes sense, yeah. Okay. What was the blend-in rule?
I haven't rolled it yet. I was just making
Okay.
sure there wasn't something else I needed to roll first.
So
25.
Okay. Yeah. Especially since the compound's mostly empty, there's not that many Teds walking around.
I just walk out the front door with
Yeah.
Sleep Saya in a bag. And I just keep walking. And basically, once I'm out of human eyesight of the compound, that's when I called him Sleep Saya out of the bag and let him roll alongside.
Yeah, they get out of the bag, make a big deal of brushing themselves off as if they had a jacket that was dusty now or something like that. All it does is make a slight scraping noise against their chassis. But yeah, then they roll right along next to you.
Great. We head back to that town. Probably get there by morning.
Yeah. Shortly along the way, they look at you and go, "Right, so where is our vehicle?"
We don't have a vehicle. We're walking.
Walking? I
Yeah.
can't walk all the way there.
You have
I'm
a
a-
wheel, asshole. I have feet and legs. You're not even fucking walking. You're rolling, which is easier, so shut up.
See, I told you I couldn't walk there.
I will kick you there.
So rude. Why are you rude?
Because I have enough brains to know you're an idiot.
That's not really a good answer. Why don't you have eyes?
Because this is my face.
Why is your face like that?
Because this is how my sister built me.
Why? It's a lot of
Probably
that.
because probably because that's all she had on hand. She just keeps answering them.
Fantastic.
She just keeps patiently answering them. So if there's a specific
Perfect.
question you would like to ask, go right ahead. I will have her answer it.
I can't think of one off the top of my head. It's mostly just annoying little weird questions.
She
that
keeps
Sleep Saya will
referring
ask.
to a sister that built her.
Yeah, yeah. Sleep Saya will probably eventually, like, once you're like halfway there, get around to the wait. What's your sister like?
My sister? Oh man, she's an absolute fucking genius. Like anything mechanical, like she's only like 15 and she's just well she was 15 when she first built me. She's like 18 now, I guess. I think. Wait, no. She'd be older than that now. I went missing when she was 18 and that's when I lost her. What was the question again?
I asked what your sister was like.
Oh yeah,
Then you
she's
could-
awesome.
But then you couldn't remember dates and numbers, which is kind of weird for a robot. And
Yeah.
now I'm feeling like maybe, the pot shouldn't be calling the kettle black with the not being the genius part.
I never said I was a genius, though. I said I was smarter than you, which is true.
Sleep Saya can't squint, but you can feel the intention of their squint at you. Somehow it transcends the fact that they don't have eyelids.
Wait, are you sure that you can't just have like the two of the prongs just go like in front of the eye sockets?
Keeping in mind that this isn't a literal claptrap. It is a similar to but legally distinct from claptrap unit. So this one doesn't have those little flaps because it has to be a little bit different at least.
No,
Yeah.
but don't worry about it anyway. The lady I'm taking to, God, my sister would fucking love her. They're the same sort of like genius with machine stuff. And she's got kids about your size too.
Oh, good. I love kids.
I'm sure they'll have fun taking you apart.
What? No. That's not okay. No, kids are great. They're very easily manipulated. You can just tell them that you'll give them candy, and then you can get them to do all sorts of things. They make great minions.
Isn't that what you do for the Teds?
Yeah.
What with drugs? Yeah, please don't I like this lady. She repairs me. Do not feed drugs to her children. If I find out you've been messing with her kids, I will take you apart piece by piece and rewire you to want to do nothing except for run around and kiss the ass crack of every Ted you see.
Well, that was quite graphic, but nope. I don't plan to give them drugs. See, you give kids candy, you give Teds drugs.
Yeah, don't mess with her kids. Or her husband. They're nice people. They're good people.
All right, whatever you say, rude one.
I have a name.
Yep. It's rude one.
Fine. Piece of shit.
You know, Merc used to call me that.
Who the fuck is this Merc anyway?
Oh, he's the great leader of the and founder of the Church of the Sleeveless Way.
I thought that was Wesley.
No, Wesley's the number 2.
It doesn't seem like he'd be the one to take number 2 position. Well, maybe. Oh shit! Now I associate with Little May. Yeah, she's the number 1, isn't she? Oh shit!
I suppose. Merc swallowed a grenade once.
Why?
Kind of did stuff like that. I
Why?
think that's what made him number 1.
Why?
Because he survived the grenade and everybody thought he was a
Congratulations! The
god.
second half of the trip is just outgoing. Why?
Sleep Saya answers everything oblivious. Not annoyed in the slightest. Seems to be enjoying the fact that you're engaging in conversation with them.
It's just 2 robots walking and talking the entire night away.
Yep.
I love it. It's like 2 episodes. Walk along the desert.
Yeah. All right. So the trip is relatively uneventful, except for the exchanging why, and eventually you get to your sister's home, and I think that's going to be a good spot to take a break. So we're going to take about 10 minutes, let everybody stretch their legs, grab drinks. I'm going to grab some soup that's waiting for me upstairs. And then we'll be back for the second half of the show. We'll find out what happens at Al's sister's house and figure out, or watch as Wesley and Lula May figure out this new HR problem that they have. So we'll be right back in about 10 minutes. Hey, and we're back. Thanks for hanging out and waiting. Back from break. So, yeah, as I said, we're gonna see what happens with Al and Sleep Saya getting to Al's sister's house, and we're gonna find out what happens with everybody else as well. So, Al, how do you approach your sister's house? Probably in the morning because it would have taken you that long to get there, I think.
Oh, she just walks right up to the front door, knocks on it.
Okay. After a little bit, the door opens and it's her husband.
And look for your wife.
There's just like a sigh and then a, honey, Al's here. Because it's still kind of early in the morning. He opens the door and just waves you in.
Right. Make sure Sleep
Sleep-
Saya's not shoving things where they shouldn't be.
Sleep Saya wheels up and in a very loud voice goes, "Good morning!" And her husband's just like, "Ugh, hi. Who is this?
An idiot.
Why are they here?"
Because A, they need someplace to hide. Because they're an idiot. And B, I know your wife is really good with, like, robots and stuff, and she's mentioned before, there's other robots and stuff I run into that need help and shit. Well, he needs help making sure that the people he's supposed to be taking care of don't die, because he forgot that your flesh bags need water.
Okay. I have no idea what she can do with that, but I'm sure she'll be happy to take a look. I'm going back to bed. And he stumbles up the stairs to presumably to the bedroom. Your sister comes out, though, of the other room, presumably the kitchen, looking very awake with a cup of coffee. Coffee, not Hoffy. And says, "All right, hi, Al. Who's your friend here?"
This idiot's name is Sleep Saya.
"Hello, I'm Sleep Saya. This is Rude One. She said you can help me relate to flesh bags a little better." And she gives a little bit of a chuckle and looks at you and goes, "Rude One?"
Shithead.
Okay. Yeah, let me have a look. And she goes to a closet, grabs some tools, and
Also, can he, like, hide in your junkyard for a few days? He should not be back where he came from for a while.
Sure, that's fine.
Great, thanks. And she starts to leave.
As you leave, you see her opening up a access panel on Sleep Saya's back and is looking at like ports and things like that. What options they have for upgrades? And Sleep Saya just going, "Ah, that tickles." I think that's a great spot to leave that. So we'll hop back to the compound. It's the next day, and I know Wesley and Lula May had plans to go over. So what is the opportunity for today?
Well, I think, and Lula, the day starts like Lula May's up early with the sun. She's already hard at work in the makeshift laboratory, kind of getting it ready, and she's pinning up all of her schematics, and she's kind of making herself like a custom set of tools that she's going to use to kind of figure out some of the properties of these crystals. And she's going to like look at the box of stuff that like Amanda dropped off, and she's going to see like how it, like the pieces in the box go from like being very focused to very clearly unfocused. And she's going to kind of smile because she can almost imagine poor Amanda like staying up wicked late, like starting off like really with like a lot of energy and like putting this stuff together, and then like slowly as she got more tired, like the things become a little bit more whimsical and a little bit less functional. So she's going to kind of lay everything out, and while she's waiting for anybody to come, if they're going to, she's just going to start sorting out like the crystals, and she's going to work on the smallest shards first that she imagines will be like the least potentially dangerous.
Okay. You might notice like there's an extra like bicycle pedal on one of them, and as you turn it, like there's little confetti comes out. It has no purpose other than just the confetti.
Yeah. Yeah. So she set up kind of like a couple of stations. She set up a station where she can like, it looks almost like she puts the crystal like it's held there, and she can like hit it with like a piston and see how much force it can take. She's got another one where she's running a current through the crystal to see if it charges it, if it's a conductor, if it's an insulator, like all of these different things. She's got like a couple like, she's got like a burner, like a small like hot pot like one like thing where she can like heat it up and do whatever. And she's got like found enough stuff to like outfit this like makeshift laboratory. And she has on, instead of her like customary like utilikilt, she's kind of fashioned a sleeveless, of course, smock like out of like various things to kind of protect herself from any potential issue with the crystal.
Okay.
And you know, I imagine that like it would be one of those scenes in like the movie where the audience is meant to wonder if and when she sleeps.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to get a lot of work done on it, and what you find is that it does have a very high there's a technical word for it, but the hardness scale it's very high, comparable to like a diamond.
Density?
I'm gonna say that when you try to figure out how dense it is, you actually get sort of anomalous readings. And then you find that as far as energy goes, as long as the input of the energy is regulated and done over time, then it's not volatile. So like for example, a lot of stoneware dishes, when you try to use them in the oven, you need to put it into a cold oven and bring the temperature up or it cracks. It's kind of the same idea. If you dump a bunch of power into it all of a sudden, all at once, it'll blow up. But if you do a low current into it and then slowly build that up, then it can hold the charge.
Yeah. So she starts like everything. She starts at like the lowest possible level and very, very slowly works her way up. And one of the things that she's doing is she's taking very meticulous notes. Like she's got like this. It's very, very focused. So she has this like chart that she's filling in with like how much force she's exerting, what she observes happening. Like she's taking a very comprehensive set of notes on this material.
Okay.
If you don't mind, like I want to add for on the one that has the confetti on it, you notice kind of like there's a small little buildup because of the magnesium in the actual confetti. That's part of that little pop out. Now that allows for when it gets onto the crystal before outputting, allows it to kind of like build up a little more and more to see, oh, that's why it's maybe doesn't make much sense in theory, but in practice it actually does.
Okay. So yeah, all of you have a pretty productive day as far as that goes. And then as we discussed on the break, it'll take you probably 2 or 3 days in game to figure all this out. But by next session, you all get a
midday that day. Albot shows back up. She's carrying a large bag that is suspiciously very stained with motor oil.
Cool. So before next session, you can all choose an item, design an item really. That's up to a +2 on the magic and tech item scale in the book. And then just run it by me before the session. I'll approve it or do
Could we
edits and
get
things like that.
or could we do upgrade our current weapons?
Sure, yeah. That would be fine as well. So, like, if you've got a +1, then you could do another +1 on top of that, which would make it a +2. Or a level 2 item. Yeah, that'd be totally fine. Is there anything that you want to do other than work on the crystals during the day?
She's gonna start, like, she's amassing some, like, there's, like, this pile, and I imagine, like she's massing, like, little tiny things that she's, like, making, as she learns more about the crystal. Like, she's making, like, little prototypes of things, and, she makes, like, a new communication tool, like I imagine it's like whatever sleep size like voice box would be, and it's crystal powered. It's like her first thing that she makes that's crystal powered.
Awesome. Okay, that's totally fine. Let's do mechanical engineering for that, just to see how well that goes. You can have it either way. It'll just be a matter of, like, how much time does it take you.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you just said.
Oh, mechanical engineering.
Oh, okay. All right.
To see how quickly you can put that together.
Okay. It's 26.
Yeah, you put that together without any real issue. Okay. Michael, was there something that you were wanting to do during the day?
I think kind of like, because I imagine like just a little later than Lila May woke up that Amanda Starr did, and did help with like have like a couple additional ones like that she had made before going. I think I'm gonna go over to the minefield and replace those I blew up, if you don't mind, Lila May.
Lula May is gonna sort of like she's very focused, and she's gonna look up and go, "Oh yeah, wait, minefield."
Yeah, the one that I blew up, getting across.
And she's gonna like look like real intently at Amanda, and she's gonna like take a deep breath and say, "You know, child, there's gonna come a day when we're gonna talk about decisions that we make and the factors that will influence those decisions. But you know what, sweetheart? I am not one to stand in the way of a girl with a dream." So she's gonna like take a bottle of lemonade and put it like give it to like her, and like I imagine like a little like a shortbread cookie that first I think every Southern woman just has as it's part of their contract. And she's going to like just sort of like straighten up her like collar and her jacket and whatever. She's gonna say, you go, darling, and you be careful. You better come back. I mean, we might have food of actual determinate origin as opposed to food of indeterminate origin this evening, and you ain't gonna want to miss that. And she's gonna go back to her work.
And I think just like before, do you want a mechanical engineering for the things like she built during the day as well before leaving for the minefield to plant blade burrs?
No, I think that's fine. There's nothing really there that's too complicated. I think the amount of time that you've got, you can just basically take a success on it. So you're heading back out to the minefield, right?
Yes, and as it's kind of like, I'm guessing, daylight, and you can visually see where the actual ones that blew up are, the little crater. Amanda is going to each one, dig up a little dirt, plant one of the blade burrs in there and pull out kind of like a little like tool knife to cut their finger, to let a little blood go on to the plant, cover it up, and then just kind of like focus on like their own life energy to help it grow before going to each one. And like just planting a little bit of burr or seed on there, giving a bit of life energy on it before moving to the next hole to kind of like replace each mine that Amanda blew up with these like seed flowers, with the focusing on like the life magic of using their own blood will help grow so that they can grow faster, so that they can be replaced real quickly.
Okay. Normally that would be nature magic, not life magic, but we'll let that work for this one. And I do need a sight roll as you are moving through a minefield with no indication of where the mines are.
Are you sure? Because like she's going directly to where the holes were.
Most of them you'll be okay, but there was a section where you got launched across the minefield, so there's definitely gaps in the craters.
Yeah, but didn't Amanda just like hit them all on the way out?
Not all of them, no. Just some.
Okay. I just didn't know because it was a nat 1 when I got
Yeah,
it. So
no,
I just
no, not-
assumed everything on their way out blew up.
Oh, if you had everything, you'd be dead.
Hey, I was close to it, so that's why like I thought. Okay, 23?
Yeah, you do a pretty good job. It's daylight, so that helps a lot, and you're able to follow mostly in your previous footsteps, and you avoid any of the mines.
And would you like an engineering magic, because it's using their own blood as kind of like the conduit for the life energy?
Sure, let's do one. Just don't roll a nat 1.
Okay.
I'll have you roll just because there's a chance for a nat 1.
Okay, so that was a 48. So
Yeah, nat 20. Yeah, they grow exactly how you want them to grow. You have no problems at all with that. They grow to full size if that's what you want. Different color if you want them to be different colors, whatever you want there.
as like they come out very black, but they are coming out very like bladed, like because as they turn into I may mess up the name, Idris Grammatic or Raven Girl, of this kind of like very like black iris, like ruffle and simmering with like a satin glow like flowers. But it almost, for how it works, is like if any person that is not very moving exactly right, unlike the minefields, what it does will just kind of like act as like a bear trap, or like these blades going in and then just trying to hurt whatever person that might walk into that wasn't careful, to replace the boom flowers with like blade flowers.
Okay, cool. I dig it. Yeah, you're able to accomplish that. And as you look around, you think you hear Maggie laughing, but there's no visible visual sign of them anywhere.
Yeah, and their main focus is replacing all that they blew up.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to do so. You definitely have a couple of close calls as you're moving through the unexploded sections, but you're able to sort of tell where the mines are this time, and I managed to not step on any of them.
And then after kind of like their finishes going, "Will you teach me now?"
And you just hear more on the wind, and there's no sign of Maggie.
And Amanda is just doing that, just repeating that for as long as you want until it gets an actual response, or you can go to another scene.
Okay. Yeah, you only hear the laugh once, and there's no response after that. Was there anything that Wesley wanted to do during the day?
So Wesley has in I think in the corner of Lula May's laboratory has set up almost like one of those like court conspiracy board type things, but has essentially brought like all of any human resources documents he has on this Church of the Sleeveless Way, as well as Sleeve Saya's sacrilegious version of the text. And I'm like setting up a big board where I'm like putting some of the HR stuff here, and I know I'm gonna have to work on that with Lula May. And then I'm looking at essentially how to redirect the advertising strategy that, in my mind, Sleeve Saya has made us like weaker as an organization by making those changes. So I'm essentially trying to rebrand us.
Okay.
And then just keeping an eye out to see if any of my raiders come back with a bounty of Hoffy.
Okay. Let me get an education roll to see how well you're doing on the rebranding strategy.
Solid 14.
Take a d6.
I do really okay.
Yes, you want to Pepe say this right. You don't want to half-ass it and
Okay.
just be a Pepe.
A 20.
20. Okay. That's two more levels of success there. It's still a 20, so it's not the best marketing strategy, but it's not horrible.
I think my goal in it is seeing like specifically which areas that Sleeve Saya has edited, and seeing if essentially where that may have made us weaker as an organization. Where like we used to be able to, like, if Merc gave the word, we were gonna go grab some shit, and I gave the word, and no one knows what to do in a raid anymore. And kind of figuring out where that breakdown came. It's kind of his goal.
Yeah, you kind of discover that there's a lot less emphasis put on rating and more on having a club where you belong, sort of a thing, and being with other like-minded individuals. It glosses over the fact where the Teds are virtually mindless, and there's a lot of emphasis on community building and like community service projects, and the other thing. Negotiation and trade instead of plundering and thieving.
I think just from that corner of the room, it's just a lot of swearing. Throughout the day.
I think every once in a while, Lula May will sort of like go over and mindlessly like draw a line or like move a push pin of string from one thing to another, and like sort of like make like a flow chart, and as she's like testing stuff out, she like grinds a little bit of the powder and puts it in his coffee and like gives it to him, like, remember to hydrate.
What powder am I being dosed with, out of curiosity?
Oh, nothing like major, like nothing, just like the crystal powder.
Oh, is it the crystal powder?
Like a little bit, like literally, like she's like joking, like she's like, ha ha ha, here it is in your coffee.
I want to make sure you're meaning as in crystal, the instant drink mix, not some of the smoky quartz crystals into it.
The dark chloridium powder, I'm assuming, is what Lula May's doing, right?
Yeah, like, yeah, but yeah, like not like a substantial amount, like literally, like, yeah. As she's like slowly breaking it down, it's leaving like this light dusting.
And, I'm not gonna lie, this is my backup plan for getting drugs in their liquid supply if the Teds don't come back successfully.
My God. You see a lot more of Brownie and Ted that day. After drinking that, it's pretty much constant. They're part of the crew now for you.
They're my focus group.
Yeah. And they're all coming from your own head, so.
So all the ideas are great then. There's no losers there.
And later in the day, you all hear sort of a boom sound, followed by all of the buildings shaking and rattling. And the boom sounds like it's coming from a long ways off.
Lula May's gonna put her stuff down,
Al's gonna go out to see what the fuck's going on.
grab a prototype that she's made of a weapon, and like go stand on the front and look in the direction of the explosion.
Okay. When you all look out there, off on the horizon, you see what looks like a mushroom cloud. But the mushroom cloud is like brown instead of white or orange. Would you like to roll sight to see if you glean any other information?
Now,
I'm gonna do gut feeling on this because I feel like that's gonna determine what Amanda will do. So, what kind of like would they be? Because like I think that's more important than what they see. Because if they have a bad gut feeling about this, they might go towards it, but otherwise they'd probably be sticking over here near drowsing Maggie.
Okay.
And that was a 23 on the gut feeling and 11 on the sight.
Okay. Yeah, you hear the boom and feel the shake, but you're looking the wrong direction. You don't see the cloud. And your gut feeling, you feel like there's danger somewhere, that something bad has happened, but you're not in direct danger.
Okay, but your meaning as in, like, does Amanda have the gut feeling that she needs to go and towards it or anything? Because, like,
I can't, like, give you that direct answer. All I can say is that, like, other people are in danger. You don't know who it is. That something bad has happened, but it's not a direct threat to you.
Okay.
Or your friends at the compound.
Okay, see, that's what I really need to know.
Okay.
Then, and just like, oh, well, they're safe. Nothing to worry about.
Lula May got a 24.
Okay.
Would that
what about...
happen to be in the direction of the Hoffy plant?
Yeah.
That was my thought.
What did Al get?
I got a 17.
17, okay. And Wesley?
20.
20, okay. So we'll start with Al then. Al, you notice it's in the direction of the Hoppy factory.
I don't know anything about the Hoffy factory, though, particularly. That's where the Teds went.
Yeah, you don't know anything like about it, but like somebody pointed that was the direction of it to you at some point. So like that's the direction they went, and that's where the mushroom cloud is, and that's about it.
Oh,
Wesley.
Wonder how many Teds we'll get back. And she just goes back inside.
Wesley, you see a little dust trail coming away from the mushroom cloud, and you can just barely squint and make out that there's some sort of truck that seems to be pedal to the metal running away from the cloud. And then Lula May, since you got the highest roll, you see all of that. You can tell that it's definitely the Teds that have stolen a Hoffy like semi. And you also see off in the distance, up in the air, a Ted flailing his arms and legs as he's flying, like airplane height through the air towards the compound.
Lula May's gonna like look up, and in her head she's calculating based on the relation to the sun and the time of day, and she's kind of calculating in her head roughly the arc of the flying Ted, and she is going to, like, in her heels and her whole outfit, go drag out of like one of the Ted bunks, one of the like cruddy 2-inch thick mattresses, and sort of like check for wind resistance, look up and place the mattress roughly where she thinks the Ted will eventually land.
Okay. Roll education for that. And good luck.
Yeah, right. That was a 19.
Is there anything like training that you have you can add into that?
Well, maybe as an explosive.
You're an engineer. Do you have engineering training?
Yeah, I have engineering asset.
I mean, from your work on gun manufacturing, I imagine that you've had to do projectile calculations before.
Yeah,
This
I
Ted feels like a projectile.
Yeah. She's like reversing that.
Yeah.
Put your gun points into it.
Modification
calculate-
tools.
If I calculate the distance of my Ted bullets, how far does it go?
Well,
I have engineer, charismatic, and trained as my assets.
well, we know the wind's coming from an eastern direction, and the Ted's coming from a southward.
I looked at your character sheet. There's nothing there that'll boost it up enough. So you put the mattress out, and then, of course, you all slowly hear the as he's getting closer.
As the Ted is getting closer, with my kinetic magic, I usually use it to like speed up myself, essentially to like vibrate through things or to like make myself denser to like take a hit.
Mhm.
Is there any way I can like vibrate the air at such a point to like create more resistance in front of this Ted to help aim him for the mattress?
You can certainly try. This poor Ted.
37.
Jesus.
Would you like to use a d6?
Do we care? How much do we care about this Ted? There's a lot more on the truck, right? It was really just the effort. If y'all want me to use a d6, I'll use a d6.
That's on you. Feel free. Like, you live your bliss. If you want to use a D6, go for it.
This is probably good Ted PR if we can save this Ted, I imagine.
All right.
Lula May's just doing like algebra 2. Ouch.
39.
Close enough. I'll give it to you. We were looking for a 40. So we'll just have it be slightly less successful. So you can tell immediately as he's getting closer and louder, the mattress is in the wrong spot. You're able to slow him down, but you're not able to redirect him into the mattress. So instead of him just turning into a red splat right in front of the mattress, he just like face plants. That's what I was looking for. Face plants into the ground, just short of the mattress, with a You're pretty sure he's got a broken bone or two, but he's alive.
Only like
Lula
one or
May
two.
looks for a moment like she is seriously going to be ill, and then very slowly recovers and goes to like help the Ted.
Is half the Ted in the ground and half just above ground?
No, he's just face planted on the ground. He's got a broken leg and a broken arm, probably a bloody nose, but otherwise he's actually okay. Which, given the distance he was just launched, is a literal miracle.
Congratulations, Wesley. You just performed your real, actual first miracle for the Deads.
I mean, I feel like I'd argue there's been a few more than one, but
So yeah, he's in a lot of pain, but he's also a little bit awestruck. He's like, "Wow, Wesley saved me. This is amazing. I thought I was dead, but I was a dead Ted."
you are the henceforth you will be named Flying Ted.
He just seems
Yeah, that's
like
awe-inspired by that.
What news from what news do you bring of our holy mission at the Hoffy factory, Ted?
Well, it took us a while to get there.
But not to get
Yeah.
back, I see.
Yeah, the Hoffy crash kind of hit about 2/3 the way there. We all sort of took a nap in the road. We woke up sometime later. It was dark at that point. And then we all got kind of lost because none of us brought a map. But we stuck together, and eventually we found it the next day. Yeah, we stole one of their semis full of the stuff. And then dumbass Ted said he wanted
Which one? I'm sorry, darling. I don't mean to interrupt you, but as remember when we had our naming circle, there were several of you who qualified to be dumbass Ted.
Oh, the one with the red hair.
Oh. Did he have a? Oh, I'm so glad he did something.
Yeah, he could say he went out with a bang. He wanted to see what would happen if you poured the powdered Hoffy into the furnace.
Oh.
And he just sort of points to the cloud that's still slowly dissipating. That's what happens when you do that, by the way.
Yeah, I see that. Thank you, Ted, for enlightening me.
About how much powdered Hoffy did it take to do that, Ted? For no reason.
Asking.
Ula May's gonna give Wes a sharp look, like we're not doing this in front of Ted.
I mean, it was like a good silo full. Those big silo tanks. I don't know how much actually like ignited, and then how much like chain reaction ignited. It was a lot of Hoffy powder, but we stole the semi, and I think everybody was on it. They should get here soon. I was standing on the roof when that happened. I was the lookout.
And what a look you got at flying through the air. Truly, the sleeveless one smiles upon this mission.
And trying to think how I would phrase this. So he looks up at you, Wesley, and you can tell like the pain's really getting to him. He's looking like he's about to pass out. He's like, "Yeah, it was a good look. Did you know, like from overhead, that our base kind of looks like a dude?" He passes out, asleep.
Lula May is gonna kind of like take off like her apron and like tuck it, make it like a little thing, and say like, I would say get the doctor, but I don't actually think that would improve his condition.
I mean, I could reach in and like try and pull out a broken bone. If he
She's
doesn't
gonna
need
kind of
it
roll
anymore.
her eyes.
I feel like that is at least as good as what the Dr. Ted would do, to be fair.
I mean, that is
not wrong.
not exactly a high bar we're clearing.
I don't have medical training. I am religiously ordained.
She's gonna like look at him as if to be like, and she's gonna sort of like pat and nod and go back.
No, this is good. We can, I mean, once we deal with this Ted and get him up and spreading the word of our victory at the Hoffy factory, this is good. We can ride this wave forward in our rebranding protocol of we are now a force to be reckoned with again. We've got the drugs that the Teds need to, I guess, function now. Right. This is.
Yeah,
You don't seem excited.
I'm glad this all worked out for us today. And she's gonna get like next to Ted, she's gonna put like a bottle of lemonade and some more of her ubiquitous shortbread cookies. And like
When he
so
makes
a
it, we'll
bottle of
appreciate that.
indiscriminate pain indescribed painkiller that she found lying around somewhere.
Can't wait till the Teds all come back and realize it's very quiet without Sleep Saya around.
I get the sense that Sleep Saya was a bit of a hands-off manager anyway, or that when his clamps were involved, it wasn't helpful. So
Yeah. I mean, he spent an awful lot of time with Gear and Cog Monthly and his motor oil.
That sounds so wrong now.
Don't forget the tea bags.
I missed it the first time. That
I did too.
Yeah. Stick with me, kid. You'll never go hungry again.
All right. So, I cannot believe I missed that the first time. Sorry. So as you're talking about this, the semi does start pulling up, and it's a pretty fancy one. It's got like the full length trailer behind it. There are Teds hanging off of the sides, off of the roof, and like 6 of them in the cab. But it's a cab that's only supposed to hold like 3 people at most. Yeah, they come.
Okay, so which one of them is Furiosa?
Is what?
Mad Max
You're
movie.
pulling a Fury Road right here. Which one is Furiosa?
I am talking about.
Mad Max
It's-
Fury Road.
Lula
I've
May
never seen
is
that.
Oh my
Lula
god,
May.
I have to show it to you
wait.
so bad.
Yeah, just Lula May is that that.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Because I've heard that's a really cool movie, so I'm glad I was recreating something like that.
It's phenomenal.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they come up and hit the brakes. There's a big dust cloud behind them as the semi slows down and stops. And the Teds hop out, and they're hooping and hollering and having a good time and celebrating and whatnot. It turns out, yeah, they got a semi-trailer full of powdered coffee, as well as several cases of potable water. It's not quite like bottled water, but they're like in gallon jugs. So they solved the coffee and the water problem. And then Amanda, you had something that you wanted to do.
Yes,
and I will say that you eventually do notice the giant mushroom cloud in the sky, and you are able to see off in the distance the semi racing down the road.
Yeah, but the gut feeling was my friends were safe, so it's not a big importance.
Sure.
Now, for the something dumb, Amanda pulls out one of the quartz into their hand, almost ready to throw it. Says, "Are you the good or the bad Maggie?" And looks like ready to throw one of the smoky quartz.
There's no answer.
Okay, if you're not gonna answer and gets ready to throw, is there anything else you'd like to do, Raven, before she throws it?
Nope.
Okay, then she just chunks it as far as she can and away from her.
Okay. Yeah, it hits a mine. There's an explosion and a second explosion from the crystal, but you threw it far enough away that it doesn't hurt you. There's still no response, but you suddenly feel cold, like someone is intently watching you.
If you're not going to answer, because I need to know if you're the bad Maggie or not. Because if you're the bad Maggie, then I should leave you alone. But if you're the good one, then maybe I need to learn from you. If I don't get an answer, I'm gonna throw another one. Just gets ready to throw and doesn't yet. Just has it in that ready. waiting for an answer.
Okay. Grab some dice.
Again, like, she hasn't thrown anything, she just wants an answer. Is this a good Maggie or is it a bad Maggie? Because if she gets an answer, she's not going to throw it. She just needs an answer.
Okay. There is no answer. Nothing happens until you go to throw that rock. Are you actually throwing it?
Well, like, again, if there's no answer, and I'm gonna just roll a gut feeling before I throw, if that's not a problem.
No, go ahead. Please do.
Okay, a 17.
You don't have a strong gut feeling about this, because you only got a 17. But even with a 17, you know that Simpsons meme with the kid on the back of the bus that's like, I'm in danger? That's pretty much what you're feeling right now.
Okay, you're gonna have to go more because the GIFs have been, like, clip has been used to the point where it's lost meaning. Can you go with another thing?
You feel like you're in danger.
I can't tell if that is what that is. Is that positive? Is that negative?
Generally, if you're in danger, that's a negative.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
You are in a dangerous situation.
Okay, then Fairy Defeated puts the crystal rock there, and then just walks out, going along where she knows where there's nothing to be blown up, and just very dejected, shoulders shrugging down, and walks away from the minefield along the flowers, knowing exactly where they're placed and how not to trigger them.
Okay. And then as you walk away, you do hear a quiet voice that just gives you the answer of both. And that's all it says, is just both. But you get the sense that it was an answer to your question.
Then she's going to shout, "Can you still teach me anything if you're at least somewhat good?"
There's no answer. But you might get the impression, since I will give you this on the gut feeling, you might get the impression that this is a lesson in itself.
I know, but she is feeling very dejected and, like, just very... Okay. Guess I'm not a star. Just kind of, like, walking very dejected, just... I'm sorry. Guess I'm not a star. As she walks away.
When you say, guess I'm not a star, you do hear that laughing again. And just, it's quiet, but you hear, you sure flew like one last night. And then there's no more answers from her.
Guess I was a star then. And just walks back very dejected towards the compound.
Okay. But yeah, you do feel like, even though Amanda is dejected, you do know that that was some sort of lesson that Maggie was trying to teach you at the minefield, even if you're not sure what it was. Alright, so the water and coffee supply has been solved. You have a semi-truck. Is there anything anybody else wanted to do before we start wrapping up the session?
I think kind of like whoever does notice, like, when Amanda comes in, like, she's just like...
Sniffly?
Lulame would see Amanda, and she's kind of like let her feel her feelings, but outside of the, like, not like junkyardy, like garage type area, after a little while next to her, like, bathtub thing, she's gonna leave Amanda like a bottle of lemonade and some actually like a couple of nice clean handkerchiefs that she found somewhere.
Nice. Okay.
At some point, Al's gonna go and looking for Lula May because Al has figured out that Lula May is the one in charge. Finally, Wes thought he was in charge. Nah, it's Lula May.
That's funny. Okay.
Lula May would be definitely like still busying herself in the lab taking notes. And she's got like a pile of prototype replacement parts for Sleeve Saya, and she's actually got a couple of things that are fitted like they might fit Al, but she's a little bit less sure.
So, I dealt with Sleeve Saya for you.
She can kind of look up from her clipboard and look confused. Be like, what?
Got
What do you mean
him.
you dealt with Sleeve Saya?
I got him getting some upgrades so he's less likely to kill the Teds by forgetting they have basic needs.
Oh, she's gonna kind of like consider that and say like, well, where'd you take him?
It's just this is his place. It's like half a day's walk. Where I lost my sister. There's this lady there. She runs the junkyard with her husband. She's fucking genius, like absolute genius.
Okay, does she work on?
Yeah, she does my repairs all the time.
Oh, well, that's nice. Okay, well, then I guess you might not need these. I mean, I don't want to be presumptuous or anything.
I gave her some of the crystals because it was so okay. Where the fuck did you end up when he did the whole weird ass teleport? Ooh wee magic bullshit.
Ugh. Do you remember the first day we all met? And we were there for that presentation.
Oh, that asshole! Yeah, the guy who hired me to track y'all down.
Yeah.
And like kill you.
I literally landed ass first in the man's lap.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Oh, girl, you have no idea.
Oh God,
girl, I could bathe in acid for the rest of my natural life, and I would not.
Oh God, and he's just the fucking creep who would pop a boner at that.
I mean, look, I would not want to be indecorous. However, I will say that
he did
there have been more than one HR meeting with Tim Rackett, and he doesn't really come out of the feelings circle any more connected to his colleagues in a professional manner. No.
Oh, did he try shit with you?
Oh, girl, no, please.
Good.
I mean, well,
what did he do?
Nothing,
Al sounds like ready to kill this man.
Oh, nothing of any great substance, darling. You don't need to worry about it. I might have made a very concerted, and I would argue quite resourceful, if I were to be honest, attempt at blowing him up as along with most of the middle level management of Danco. So I'm assuming that I will be crossing paths with Mr.
We gotta get one of the Teds to write a song about you, because that's awesome.
Oh well, I mean, I'll tell you something.
Seriously, that is fucking epic! Holy shit!
Well, I tried. My daddy.
No wonder you're in charge.
My daddy always told me that women are often some men's greatest weakness, and if they aren't smart enough, it might just be a weakness worth exploiting. And unfortunately for Mr. Rackett,
if I was still human, I would so try to date you.
She's gonna kind of like not really know how to process that and nod and say, well, Al, that's mighty flattering, and I'm sure.
No, it's okay. I don't really date people now. It's weird being a robot and being interested in people like that.
that the romantic options would be
And then you
incompatible.
get those people who are really into robots and like, whoa, no, not like that.
Yeah, it is one of those things where there's a line, between being in a mutually respectful relationship and being fetishized. I mean, I think that's something that's very important, and I think that it is good for you
Yeah.
to recognize that boundary.
Yeah,
And Lula Mae is gonna be like,
I so would have dated you. You are amazing, Lula Mae. Anyways, yeah, I dealt with
some point,
so
I would really like to meet your friend.
So I gave the lady some of the crystals and shit because, well, she's a genius. She'll probably like figure out stuff.
Okay, I think that'll be great. And someday, Al, if you won't, maybe we can find a robot friendly community, and maybe who knows. Look, it's a new day
Lula Mae,
on Calamity,
Lula
darling.
Mae?
The world's our oyster.
I would love to have you as my wingman.
Oh, girl. I
Oh,
mean, I
bits.
don't know if I could make a motor oil that tastes like lemonade, but I sure try. I would surely try.
I have no mouth and no sense of taste, so it doesn't matter to me.
Well, there you go. You have a mouth and you don't need to scream. So there we are.
I don't have a mouth. And sometimes I do need to scream. Sometimes I scream a lot.
So you have no mouth and sometimes you must scream. I hear that. I get you there.
So yeah, Sleep Saya, I figured it'd be good for the Teds and everyone really to get him out of here for a while until shit kind of mellows, or at least the drugs kick in.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think for Sleeve Sai, he is very much a short-term strategist. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's why I'm getting him upgrades.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that your friend will come up with something wonderful for him.
If you want, yeah, I can strip down to chassis and stuff if you want to do any trials for these pieces.
I mean, sure. And it's like small, like things like, so remember when Al took the tube off? So she's fashioned like out of some of the metal pieces that Amanda had, like a cover that would like protect that, like in case. And like it's nothing that's like particularly sophisticated. She was very clearly just sort of like had that energy of like, I'm in the middle of a project and I have so much of this energy that like I've started this other project.
If it makes you feel better, basically Al like strips like it's like completely, it's no different than taking off a jacket. And she is quite literally a genderless robot.
Yeah, she doesn't like Lula Mae doesn't really.
There's no bits or whatnot to worry about here. Like she has vents on like her outer thighs, and like sides of the chest or back of the chest area, but that's about it. Everything is like very smooth and like really well made. Like it hasn't been a different person doing the repairs.
Yeah.
As compared to who built it.
So Lula Mae is gonna kind of like fit a couple of like small pieces like over like areas where like maybe like a rock got kicked up and like, you know what I mean? Like she's gonna kind of like smooth some of that over, and then she's gonna fit around a couple of tubes. She's gonna be like, now I don't know if tension is a thing for you, but like I just might. And then she like fits it over and it like keeps those tubes like being vulnerable to hit and then ruin, I don't know, hydraulic or whatever.
Sorry, I think it's good now. I think we caught all of that. I think I had some internet hiccups, so it got a little stop and go there.
Oops.
Yeah, my connection is fluctuating between like 5,000 kbs and 0.
That's rough.
Okay. It seems to be staying right around 2,500, which is where it should be, so.
Great.
Okay. That was weird. We've had a couple hiccups today. Okay, cool. So I like that conversation. That's pretty awesome. Was there anything else that anybody wanted to do before we get the last little scene here and head out on a raid? Michael.
Okay, this it feels very dumb, but I think the fact that Amanda is like feeling so sad and dejected probably uses those rags to like clean out their eyes and wipe away any like loose mascara that's spreading down the eyes,
Mhm.
and then gets those two smoky quartz using those same things, wraps them around her arm before kind of like using the magic and just kind of like trying to use the smoky quartz with that at kind of like in a trash can of combining this magic with the smoky quartz.
So you're trying to use magic on the Dark Lyridium while having it strapped to your arm to punch a garbage can really hard?
Yes, it's more of like this is a test because she is upset and she's thinking, okay, so even if this might have been the bad Maggie that the Foamy told her that could learn how a fish could slap a dragon, it's not one to learn. So just upset by that is kind of like roughly using the bandanas on as kind of like the wrist
Okay.
guards
Yeah.
around the quartz while it's onto their arm
Yeah.
as they test it out using magic to punch like a trash can.
I get it. So yeah. It's a sort of a shortcut, a fast way to power. And it works. You punch the trash can like further than Maggie punched you across the minefield. But you also feel a tingling in your arm, and you feel kind of funny. I need a discipline check.
Okay. And 18.
An 18. You suddenly feel angry and sort of rage-filled for just a moment, and just have this sort of like dark feeling, like almost like corruption, or like you're losing control of your emotions a little bit. So you get just ridiculously angry for just a couple seconds, but then because you succeeded at the discipline check, it goes away.
Then I think kind of like the last scene before transition to anyone else is this very dark smile on Amanda's face.
Okay. You have chosen the fast route. You have chosen the dark side. What about
Maybe.
Wesley? Is there anything else that Wesley wanted to do?
No, I think he is just making sure that all of the Teds that were on the trip, on the raid, are essentially spreading the good word of how well everything went amongst the crowd.
Okay.
Wesley is trying to encourage that talk to kind of get the cult back to its roots.
Excuse me. Yeah, they do so. In that case, the very last thing I'll have everybody do is roll a hearing check.
Roll a what check?
Hearing.
25.
Nice.
13.
36.
Oof. Nice. Okay,
12.
So Wesley and Amanda are the only ones that actually hear this. Amanda, you got the lower roll, so we'll start with you. You hear what sounds very faintly, just off in the distance. Very faintly, you hear the Lula May lemonade jingle on an old beat-up speaker, just faintly sort of on the wind. And it gives you a shudder. Like you just get an ominous feeling from it.
That gives me an idea.
Wesley, you hear that as well. And then you just hear in sort of a raspy voice, "I'm coming for you, Lula May." Just very, very faintly. Like you hear it, but for a second you're like, "Did I actually hear that?" Because as quickly as it comes, it also goes away. And that's where we'll end the session. So that was a lot of fun. Before we go on our raid, we're gonna let everybody talk about their favorite part, where we can find them online, and all that good stuff. We've got our raid cry in chat already, which is "Beware Secondhand Teds." Feel free to copy that. You can paste it when we go on our raid. But let's start with Michael. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you next? And anything else you'd like to share?
My favorite bits, because half of it I would say would be parents are fighting now, and it's just like that whole back and forth was an utter delight. And Sleep Saya and Al and the walking is just like such a beautiful effing scene. Like it is one of those like very dumb in the text, but the imagery there is really good. Like again, as they are both taking on a journey, even though like they themselves don't see this as important, it's this back and forth of these two that are building this kind of like companionship, a friendship between them that's starting to build just out of them just being very having things that they agree with. Like it felt very much like a lot of the scenes in the Mandalorian and
The Mandalorian.
the Baby Yoda. Yeah, them and the Baby Yoda. Like that's kind of what that felt like. That scene, like they're agreeing on things.
I could see that.
Is Sleep Saya my Baby Yoda?
It could be. It depends on how you guys develop. But it's like you see this potential of like these two are really bonding. That's very sweet.
Oh,
and
that's
And
funny.
we're both assholes.
I know, but again, that's the text. But the imagery, like it's that beautiful contrast where the text, here's a couple of assholes, but the imagery is still real sweet. Good contrast.
That's great. That's great.
I'm Michael Wayne. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter under that handle. Wednesdays, you will see me on the Bardic Nox channel for Digimon/Crash, Digimon Tabletop RPG, where I will be playing a reflavored version of Billy Bliss with my OC Digimon Desperamon, who Digimon had just evolved and now must deal with a samurai duel with a bird. It'll be interesting to find out what happens with them. Always out looking for a game. Maybe one day I'll play with you. Remember, we're all in this together. I'm pulling for you.
Awesome. Next, we've got Icy Historian. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you'd like to share?
Oh man. We'll go with the easy part first. You can find me here on Tuesdays, and any other time, Raven lets her guard down long enough for me to sneak my way in. Oh man, my favorite part, I thought that this was really good for some character building between Lula May and Al, which hasn't really happened yet, so that was really good. I like the sort of twist on corporate culture that comes with dealing with life at the compound, and the idea of a TED uprising I think is really funny. And I also don't take this the wrong way, Pat, but I love the idea of how flagrantly just woefully ineffectual the whole stand there and yell at them method. Like it was sort of like, I'm gonna stand there and yell at them, and the TEDs are like, and we're all on meth. So, I mean, that's cool. So I like that idea. And, the return of Tim Rackett, I'm sure is going to be a great time.
Yeah. That's gonna be fun. Awesome. Next we've got Alex. What was your favorite part? Where can we find you? And anything else you want to share?
Holy shit, my cheeks are hurting almost as bad as they do on Animus nights. Which is saying something, because none of us stop smiling during Animus, even when we're playing angry characters or sad characters.
That's true.
Yeah, this is hard not to smile when there's a shit show going on. But tonight, though, Lula May blew me the fuck away tonight. Holy shit. Like, every scene that she was in, it was just watching this character, like, be like, I have shown you bits and pieces of who I am, but here's me in my complete and utter glory. This is what I do best. I am a goddamn science engineer, and I build guns.
That was pretty cool.
Also, it was so much fun to bounce off of her with Al, because I've been wanting to, but there's, like, not in a reason to. So this actually, like, had a reason. And Al's also noticing all the upgrades we're building for Slave Side too. And she's definitely gonna be like, you know, Lula May's gun is actually, like, trying to help you.
That's great.
But yeah, no, it's Chef's Kiss, absolute beautifully done. Thank you so much for that scene, Historian. That was hi, I'm Alex. I'm an artist. You can find me around at Can Chaos Art on Twitch, Twitter, and Patreon, where I will be doing regular art streams on Mondays during the daytime for a few hours at a time as I kind of get used to things and stuff on my channel. Tomorrow I can be found over on Pat's channel tomorrow evening. Pat can give you the proper time because I cannot remember time zones for worth of crap right now. Where we're playing in a Lancer game that Dardarus is running, and it is so we're gonna actually be able to do our first, like, in the game plot night. And
Nice.
oh my god, Dardarus has given me, like, so many bits and pieces for my character's backstory and stuff, because my backstory is involved in plot. And oh my god, there's so much cool shit that he's built, like, an entire sci-fi, like, setting with multiple species. Sorry, I'm going to gush a bit. Then Thursday, you're going to find me over on Alien Jay's channel, where I play with Econorlex and Jay, who is usually with me on Animus on Saturday nights here again. And other guests, where we're currently playing Stardew Valley.
Awesome. Fantastic. And last but not least, Pat, what was your favorite part? Where can we find you, and anything else you'd like to share?
Ooh, I think today I loved kind of two bits. I really enjoyed actually, like, Wesley coming back and with the new confidence of my magic crystals, like, just like, nope, fuck off, Sleep Side, this is how we're doing things.
Yeah.
And then I loved the interaction with Lula May coming back. One, Lula May being the only one that pointed out that how the teleportation worked. Like, nobody else complained about it to me when they came back. And then just the sense that everyone is like, oh, the parents are fighting. But from Wesley's perspective, he doesn't think he's fighting with Lula May. He views it as a partnership, and he's happy to have her on board.
Yeah, this is not like Lula May's not in a fight. If Wesley and Lula May would be in a fight, Wesley would have, like, thought they were best friends and been poisoned months ago. Like, that's not, Lula May does not fight. Lula May wins.
Oh, no.
I know. That's why I'm
shuddered.
just saying comically, the parents are fighting.
Oh yeah.
Oh no! When she dropped the "bless your heart," though, like a chill ran down my spine.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
that
The
was
sad
like,
part is I'm
he's in
from
trouble.
Nowhere near bless your heart territory.
But yeah, so tomorrow night on my channel at, I believe, 10 p.m. Eastern. That's a thing I should know. Like you mentioned, we're playing in a Lancer campaign, the Spare Brigade, that Dardarus, like you mentioned, has this amazing homebrew space universe with all of these, you know, original species, several of which are in the cast is playing. I am playing a boring human who is a, like, sports murder ball athlete type thing. But yes, space and big mech fights and lots of fun tomorrow night. And then besides that, you could catch me Saturday evening, I want to say at 9 p.m. Eastern time on Polished channel in our little mini campaign of Urban Shadows that I'm running.
Awesome. That just leaves me my favorite part. I did have a lot of fun with Sleep Saya and interacting with Al and with Wesley. Sleep Saya is just fun to play and be silly with. And then so that was great. And then I also really enjoyed the Wesley Lula May conversation. And I enjoyed Amanda's persistence and like going like I want to learn that technique, and Maggie just being like, you're gonna learn patience first without actually saying that. That was just fun to see. And I'm curious if Amanda will continue down the dark side, as it were, or will eventually come around to waiting for Maggie to teach her.
You'll have to watch next week to find out!
Yep. And then, of course, you know, someone who may or may not be Timothy Rackett in Lula May's lemonade truck. At the end, that was fun to drop. Those are my favorite parts. You can find me next tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. That is 9 p.m. Eastern Time for Exodus, the Sunken City, where I play Niklaus and his sort of alter ego, Klaus. One is an asshole doctor. The other is like the Mr. Hyde to that doctor. Think like Mark Hamill's Joker, but a little more violent. So it's a lot of fun. I play a bad guy, but not the main villain. So it's pretty neat, and it's all influenced by BioShock and run by my friend Vanessa, who does an amazing job. It's her first time GMing, I think, at all, and she built the system that we're playing on, so it's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. And then Friday, we've got no streams on Friday because of FireCon. I'll be presenting there. That's FYRE Con, so you can look that up online, and I think you can still sign up if you want to attend anything. But it's a writers and artists convention. It's pretty cool. So I'll be doing that on Friday. So unfortunately, no streams on Friday. We won't have a one-shot on Saturday, but we will have Anima Saturday night. But I'll be presenting at FireCon Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for where you can find me. Other things to share, I've got the sponsors listed in chat there, and also there's my Linktree, which has all my social profiles, Patreon, Coffee, my website, which has my portfolio. Coffee also has spots for open commissions where you can commission me to do all sorts of art stuff for you, like overlays that I have on the channel and things like that, or magnets like that right there that Michael's got. We referenced Hoffy a lot today. That is the Hoffy logo that I made for it. Yeah, that's where you can find all that stuff. And then we're going to go on a raid, like I mentioned. We're going to go raid Nerdsmith, who are currently doing some tabletop. They're awesome. Definitely give them a follow if you're not doing so already. The whole team is just fantastic. I've had the wonderful opportunity to work with them on a few different things over the past year. And yeah, they're great. Definitely check them out. And then our raid cry is beware of secondhand Teds. So thanks again, everybody, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.